Good afternoon, all. My system is having some problem, so let me handle it. So I have discussed with our external. He is coming within few minutes, so let us wait. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah.
अच्छा अच्छा वो तो आती हुई कोई सोचने मिला पर 13 दिन मिले नहीं हुई। हम 15 दिन नहीं जाएगा हम तो चालू करते।
Okay. In the meantime, our expert join. We can take some output from this FTP till now. We can message, like we can chat. Okay, what we have learned, so that we all go through this once again. Like in first lecture, as Dr. Himanshu Gupta discussed about the role of sustainability, then supply chain, and then best worst method. So similarly, after that, the next morning, this Anupma Pangal also discussed about food impact of this COVID in food industry, and then the circular economy. And after that, Rajiv Marathi, he discussed about lean and Lean Six Sigma. Apart from that, he also discussed how the lean is different from Lean Six Sigma, like the lean impact on the, we can say, waste, whereas Six Sigma impact on the process improvement. And lean help to remove the waste from the process. And similarly, after that, yesterday afternoon session, Dr. Uh, Misra, he explained about the role of, we can say, how to calculate or how to identify the impact of carbon and impact of non-sustainable energy resources at the international level, and he actually discussed about the research methodology how we can use. So in future, we'll try to ask him that he could be able to give more lecture in depth in that particular methodology. So and after that, today morning we had this with us. Okay, I think our expert has joined now. So let me find him. Rajneesh, Dr. Rajneesh, yeah, he's here. So yes, sir, you can unmute yourself as well as you can switch on your video. So we have with us Dr. Rajneesh. He did his PhD from National Institute of Technology, Hamirpur. So he has published research paper in many international and national journals. And if please, Dr. Rajneesh, please switch on your video and please introduce yourself, and then you can begin with your topic. Dr. Rajneesh, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please switch on your video and then, or you can share your. Okay, I have made you co-host, sir. I think you can switch off your, you can switch on your ask to unmute. Okay, you can unmute yourself, sir. Okay, you are unmuted now, so you can switch on your video if you are comfortable with that. Then you can start. We are not able to hear you, sir. I think your audio system is not working. Dr. Rajneesh, I can't hear you. If participant, can you hear him?
No, sir.
No, Dr. Rajneesh, can you please check your mic once again?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay. Hello,
Yes, sir.
sir. Hello. Very good afternoon.
Uh,
I love you.
yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Manjeet sir, I am sharing my PPT with you. Actually, I am
Yeah.
finding some problem here, so that's why I am sharing my
Okay.
PPT to you. So kindly share
Okay.
on my behalf, please.
Yeah. 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 Please share. Okay, on WhatsApp only. You should have mailed me, sir. It takes time now. Okay, it's downloading, no problem. Uh, it takes time, sir. I think so. It's too big, I think. Got it. I have received your PPT, sir. Let me check. Folder here. Microsoft Point it stopped working. Some problem is there, sir. Sir, you have already shared, I think. Rajnish, sir. Rajnish, sir. Hello,
Hello. Hello.
sir. You
Sir,
already shared, and once
I
again you.
myself, yeah, actually I rectified the problem and now I'm capable of sharing my PPT. So
No,
give me
yes,
a
yes.
minute, sir, and let me.
Yeah, it's there. No problem, sir. You can start. PPT is visible, sir. You can start. Can unmute yourself and you can start, sir.
This is the problem, sir. While I sharing my PPT, I'm sharing the PPT, and automatically my screen will get muted. So that's the problem, sir.
Okay.
So please, yeah.
Now is it
So
visible?
the yes, sir. Now it's okay. So may I
But
start?
actually, from my side, it's a problem. Actually, I'm not able to see anything in my system now.
Okay.
Okay, can
Okay,
you?
sir.
Okay,
Let it be right now. Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Let it be right now. And if yeah.
Are the slides changing now
So
like this?
to the today
Sir,
I will
sir,
going to
slides are
talk about
changing.
the solar air heaters. We will going to discuss. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They are changing.
Okay, 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 sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So today I will going to discuss about the solar heaters, and we will going to discuss that what is the role of solar energy in sustainable development. Now, the word sustainable, the word sustainable development is the development that meets the need of the present without compromising the abilities of future generation to meet their own needs. For the concern of the climate change, global warming, and to ensure a sustainable future, sustainable energies are gaining importance. Sustainable energy is the sustainable stipulation of energy that is clean and long lasting, less emission of polluting gases, that is solar energy, wind energy, biomass energy, geothermal energy, etc., and are also often called alternative source of energy. Among all the clean technologies, solar energy is an efficient renewable energy source to alleviate the emission of greenhouse gases and help to trim down global warming. India received solar energy equivalent to over 500 trillion kilowatt hour per year, with about 300 clear sunny days in a year, and most of it remain unused for human well-being. Energy sector has a great role in improving the quality of life. Energy consumption pattern of India is characterized by a bulk group of rural households depends on insufficient and poor quality of energy sources. Sustainability is the approach towards the growth and development of human well-being. Solar energy is one of the sectors that are recognized to support sustainability. In India, solar energy, as I already mentioned, that India receives almost 5,000 trillion kilowatt hour per year. So the solar energy is one of the sector that are recognized to support the sustainability. And according to Indian location on the geographic map, it is located on tropical belt large scope of solar energy country. Many solar technologies are not yet cost competitive with conventional energy supplies. Conserving solar energy is impossible until major policy incentives are introduced. Many nations have realized the problem and supported solar energy enlargement through a broad range of financial support and other instruments. These policies are designed to promote renewable energy, including solar, at the global level as well as for particular country in India. Sustainable implementation of policies in development and developing countries are helping increase the growth of solar energy market, mainly for grid connection, solar PV, and solar thermal water heating system. So, based on the application, we can say that the solar energy for sustainable development is possible mainly in two ways. And these ways are passive and other one is active. The passive solar energy application collects the energy without converting the heat or light into other form. On the other hand, in active solar energy applications, the solar energy is stored or converted for diversifying applications. This in turn can be classified as two different groups, and which are photovoltaic and solar thermal. Photovoltaic technology converts the solar radiation into electrical energy when it is incident upon a semiconductor material. But in case of solar thermal technology, the solar heat is used for thermal or heating application, and it can either be used for the electricity generation. It is further subdivided into two categories, which are solar thermal non-electric and solar thermal electric. As these names suggest, the application of solar thermal non-electrical technology are those in which the solar energy collected is used for heating application, such as solar water heater, solar air heater, solar cooking system, solar cooling system, etc. While solar thermal electrical technologies refer to those in which the solar heat is used to produce the steam for electrical generation. And this methodology is basically called as concentrated solar power. So, so here, so please, next slide, sir. Yes, previous one, sir. So this is a schematic view of solar aerator. Here we can see that this is a very simple design, and because of their simplicity and a cheap design, the most widely used for collect solar collector is known as solar collector. And because of this simple design, it is one of the basic equipment through which solar energy is converted into the thermal energy. The main application of solar air heaters are space heating, seasonal space heating, or drying crops, or drying timbers, etc. And these can also be effectively used for drying of concrete, clay building components, etc. A conventional solar air heater generally consists of an absorber plate. Here you can see in this figure as well, the absorber plate is placed over the insulated part. Here is the absorber plate, and consists of absorber plate, a rear plate, insulated insulation below the rear plate, transparent cover on the exposed side, and the airflow between the absorber plate and the rear plate. A solar air heater is simple in design and require little maintenance. However, the value of heat transfer coefficient between the absorber plate and air is low, and this results in lower efficiency. There are a lot of applications or lot of techniques by which the heat transfer through the solar aerator can be enhanced, and these methods or technologies are: first one is artificial roughness. Artificial roughness is a type of method in which the uh, the extra material is provided over the absorber plate, and the main purpose of this extra material is not to increase the heat transfer area, as we can see in case of fin. In case of fin, the heat transfer area is increased, but the artificial roughness is not work on the same principle, because in case of artificial roughness, the main purpose of this roughness is to increase the local turbulence, because while we increase the local turbulence inside the over the hot surface, that is basically the absorber plate, then the heat transfer from the absorber plate to the air which flowing over the absorber plate get increased, because we already know, according to, if we based on the concept of thermal boundary layer, we can say that while the air flows over the hot surface, then there is a formation of thermal boundary layer. And although the velocity or the nature of the flow is turbulent in nature, but over the hot surface there is a formation of laminar sublayer, and because of these laminar sublayer, the heat get trapped in between these sublayers. So for increasing the heat transfer from the absorber plate to the air, we provide the artificial roughness, and these artificial roughness breaks the laminar sublayers and create the local turbulence over the absorber plate. And with the help of this, the performance of the solar aerator get increased. In addition to that, we have other technologies as well, other methods as well, such as fins or baffles. In case of fin, the fins works on the principle that we are increasing the heat transfer area. And according to Newton's law of cooling, or according to Fourier's law, with the increase of heat transfer area, the heat transfer increases. So this is also another method, which is fin and baffles. Nowadays, a lot of work is carried out using the nanofluids. Nanofluids, in case of nanofluids, we consider a particular, we consider a base fluid. Let us suppose if we talk about solar water heater, in that particular situation, we have a base fluid as water, and we suspend nanoparticles into it. Let us suppose if we alumina nanofluid, in that particular case, the aluminum oxide, the nanoparticles of aluminum oxide is suspended into the water, and by doing that, the thermal conductivity of the nanofluids or the fluid get increased by 5 to 15%. And with the increase of this thermal conductivity of the fluid, definitely the performance of the solar heater or solar water heater get increased. So these are the different techniques for increasing the heat transfer or performance of a solar heater. But today I will going to discuss about the artificial roughness. So please, sir, Manjeet sir, please next slide.
Next slide, sir.
Yeah, next slide, sir, please.
No, I have changed, sir. Is it changed or not?
Not on my screen, but if you change, so I will go into discussing about that. Okay.
No, I have changed, sir. I have this CFD analysis of solar air heater. Is it changed
Yes,
or
sir.
not?
Yes, sir. Not on my screen, sir. But if you maybe I have some issue on my system or network. That's why I'm not getting that.
Not changed. They are saying not changed.
Yes.
So that's what actually. Let me see. Actually, that's why I was not sharing full screen initially. Maybe
Okay.
we have some. So what about now, sir? Is it changing now? Can you see CFD?
Still, sir, I'm on on third slide. No, now it's changed. Now it's changed.
Okay, okay. You can see now. Okay.
Okay, so today, yeah. So now we will going to discuss that how we can analyze the performance of a solar generator with the help of CFD, and what are the key aspects which need to be understand while doing that. Okay. So CFD, if nowadays a lot of work is carried out using the CFD. So CFD is nothing but the computational fluid dynamics. CFD is a science that can be helpful for studying the fluid flow, heat transfer, chemical reactions, etc. by solving mathematical equations with the help of numerical analysis. It is equally helpful in designing a solar generator for scratching as well as in troubleshooting, optimizing by suggesting the design modifications. CFD employs a very simple principle of resolving the entire system in small cells or grids and applying the governing equations on these discrete elements to find numerical solutions regarding pressure distribution, temperature gradient, flow parameters, and the like in short time at a low cost value of a reduced require experimental work. So while we do the numerical simulations with the help of CFD, we usually consider, assumes few assumptions. So so if we while we do the numerical simulations for the solar aerator, so the assumptions we assume are that the flow is steady in nature. Okay, if we talk about the steady flow, this means that with the time there is no change in the fluid properties at every point within the flow domain. So the design the if you can see in this figure in this figure that the the computational domain which used for designing the solar generator having the three different sections, and these different sections are now let us discuss about the importance of these three different sections. So here you can see that we have initially we have a entrance section, and after that we have a text section, and finally we have the outlet section or exit section. So so first question arise in my in the mind that why we are using the two different sections before or after the text section. What is the purpose of using these extra length or providing this extra length before and after the text section? Because text section is that particular portion where all the measurements or calculations takes place. So what is the purpose? So actually, if we in fluid dynamics, we come across a term which is fully developed flow. So this entire section is provided to have a fully developed flow before the text section. And similarly, the exit section is provided after the text section to minimize the losses through the text section. And in this particular situation, if let us suppose if we are not considering the exit section while we are doing the simulation using the ANSYS Fluent software, what happens if we do not provide the extra extra length after the, if we do not find the extra length after the text section, then there is a backflow. And why this is backflow? Because of the pressure drop. Because of the roughness, there is a pressure loss. And somewhere atmospheric pressure is higher than the pressure drop inside the duct. And because of that only, what happens? Pressure has the ability to move from the higher to and higher gradient to low gradient. And because of that, the backflow takes place at the exit of text section. So that's why we usually provide the entrance as well as the exit section before and after the text section. And in text section, you can see that this is the absorber plate, and the roughness is provided over the absorber plate. Now, here, the absorber plate is that particular portion which get heated because of the solar radiations. Now, when the temperature of this absorber plate get raised, and this absorber plate is further in contact with the air which is flowing through the solar, this passes or solar aerator. So what happens? This absorber plate emits the heat to the air which flowing through this passes or this channel. And due to this, that the temperature of air get increased. And accordingly, the air heating takes place. And this is simply the solar aerator. The solar radiation which are absorbed by the absorber plate is used to heat the air which flowing through the solar aerator. So now there are different possible ways different possible ways or shapes which can be used as the artificial roughness. So in this particular study, we are limited these shapes as circular, semicircular, square, rectangular, and rectangular with chamfered. If the chamfer is provided uh, in the first half of a rectangular rib, then it is called forward chamfer rectangular rib, and then this chamfer is provided at the back end, then the chamfer is called as backward chamfer rectangular fin. So this is what the different shapes of artificial roughness is used. And there are different parameters which are used for the used while analyzing the performance of a solar aerator. And these parameters are relative rib height. Relative rib height is the ratio of roughness height to the hydraulic diameter. Now, what is hydraulic diameter? Hydraulic diameter can be calculated, or you can say it is the equivalent diameter which represents the circular pipe. Because in this figure you can see that the cross-sectional area of the flow passes is triangular. So the hydraulic diameter is equivalent diameter which represents represents this hydraulic diameter. So and the hydraulic diameter can be calculated as 4 multiplied by area, cross-sectional area divided by the perimeter. Similarly, the other parameter, important parameter is relative roughness pitch. And the relative roughness pitch can be defined as the distance between the two successive ribs. And the third important parameter, which is used in case of solar aerator, is the Reynolds number. Because with the increase of Reynolds number, the heat transfer increases. And there And while we simulate this problem with the help of ANSYS Fluent software, then there are 5 different steps which need to be followed. And what are these steps? First, we design the problem with the help of software, or can be done with the ANSYS as well using the workbench. So first one first step is designing model. Afterward, once we design the model, then second step is matching. And matching is one of the crucial step. Why? Because our is important that that number of elements should not be too large that they can't able they can not be selected of a system. So that's why you can see in this figure computational domain that the I'm saying this is a triangular duct, equilateral triangular duct, but I have used the half portion of it instead of splitting down. I have split the column for the half duct using the plane of symmetry condition, bonding condition, and using the plane of symmetry bonding conditions, that this particular computational domain is symmetric about a particular plane. So for effective matching, what I am doing, I'm dividing this computational domain into two parts, simulating the results only for the half portion. Now, after matching, we have heard third step is mathematical modeling. In mathematical modeling, what we do, provide the different methods for solving the basic flow governing equations. And what are flow governing equations? Continuity equation, equation, momentum equation. So if we, because the problem is three-dimensional, so in particular situation we have three equations for momentum along x, y, and z. Similarly, we have three equations for the pressure distribution along x, y, and z. And afterwards, we have fourth step, that is solution. In solutions, all the boundary conditions using the specific, you can say we solve the entire flow governing equations under the specific boundary conditions. And what are these specific boundary conditions in this particular problem? Because the boundary conditions are those conditions which are which we are these conditions are those conditions which problem is specified. So in this particular situation, we can say that in this normal value at the so as we decide the normal value, so inlet we have velocity boundary. So we are free to choose the any velocity value at the inlet. But similarly, at the outlet we not the what boundary condition we can use at the outlet, because there is a flow of through the potential domain, so that there is a pressure drop. Simply we use the pressure drop, pressure boundary at the outlet of this question. In addition to that, we have another boundary which is absorber plate, because this absorber plate get hit with the help of solar radiations. And these solar radiations, and because of this solar radiation, this absorber plate get did. So over the appropriate, we are using conjugation. And usually in most of the articles, you can see that the constant heat flux is 1000 watt per meter square. And if we talk about the entrance section or text section, entrance section vapors, these are the extra length which is provided to ensure the fully developed flow before the text section and smooth exit from the section. That's why in these sections, what bond ignition we use? We use the only insulation bond ignition. So, sir, please next slide. Yes, this is a pictorial view of meshing. You can see here there are different meshing models. So while we do the meshing, there is one important thing which need to keep in mind. That is, while we do the meshing, we always need to do the grid independence test. So grid independence test is nothing but but it represents that our solution is independent of the number of elements. And what does it means? It means that you can see in this figure that initially we have a chorus meshing. Chorus meshing means that the number of the the gap between the two grid points is high. So while we our main focus is to have a solution which is independent of number of elements. So for doing this, what we do the grid independence test. And in addition to that, the meshing, if you see this figure, the meshing is done in such a way that the fine meshing is used over the or near the artificial roughness. So what is the purpose of doing that? The main purpose of providing the fine meshing near the absorber plate or the artificial roughness is to ensure that the viscous sublayers get captured accurately. If we are not capable of capturing these viscous sublayers, then the results which we are getting from the simulation is not accurate. So that in this figure you can see that here is a table, and in this table the grid independence test is in this table the values of grid independence test is presented. So with the increased model 1, we have a chorus matching. Chorus matching means the size of element is high, large. So in that particular situation, the Nusselt number value which we are getting, the Nusselt number value which we are getting is lower. And if we talk about if we have considered the model 6 for the present simulations. So in this particular situation, you see that the elements are fine, and the number of element is 12.06 multiplied by 10 to the power 5. And in that particular situation, the Nusselt number value which we are getting is 63.39. And what is the deviation between the model 5 and model 6 is only 0.66%. So we can say that with further increase in the number of elements, there is marginal change which is less than 1% in the Nusselt number value. That's why we can say that the grid independence test is achieved for the model 5. And similarly, we have a friction factor value, which is represented by F. And here you can see that similarly, the deviation is less than 1 for model 5. And one more thing, as in the last slide I mentioned that the Reynolds number varied from 4,000 to 18,000. So in this particular range, the flow is turbulent in nature. If the flow is turbulent in nature, in that particular situation, we have to use the appropriate turbulent model for simulating the results. So how we can choose the appropriate turbulent model? Once we get the grid independence test, then after we go for the for choosing the appropriate turbulent model. Here in ANSYS Fluent, all these simulations are performed using the RANS model, RANS turbulent model. So in RANS, we have 5 different turbulent models. So the simulations are performed for the entire turbulent models, and these results are validated with the help of Ditter-Bolte equation. And according to Ditter-Bolte equation, we have, according to Ditter-Bolte equation, uh, we have Nusselt number is equal to 0.023 multiplied by Reynolds number is to power 0.8 multiplied by Prandtl number is to power 0.4. And accordingly, we calculate the value of Nusselt number and compare the results with this Ditter-Bolte equation. And we can see that the K epsilon RNG model matches the value which are calculated using the K epsilon RNG model matches closely with the Ditter-Bolte equation. So that for simulating this problem, the results are used uh, using the K epsilon RNG model. And after that, these results are also validated with the help of with the already published results by Liu et al. So it is observed that there is a close match between the values, and but at the lower null number value, the error is higher in comparison to other values. So sir, please next slide. So these are the results. So here, so we are interested, or our main objective is to increase the thermal performance of the solar radiator. And while we are talking about thermal performance, means that we are interested to increase the local heat transfer. We are interested to increase the heat transfer coefficient, and we are interested to analyze the local turbulence between the two successive loops. And based on that, we will going to conclude that how the heat transfer increases with the increase of with the change of artificial roughnesses. Here you can see in these figures, in these results, that the local turbulent intensity changes significantly uh, with the change of axial distance between two successive ribs. The maximum value of the maximum value of this local turbulent intensity found for the FCRR, forward facing rectangular loop, and while the minimum turbulent intensity is found for the CR, means circular loop. So what is the main factor which affecting this turbulent intensity between the two successive ribs? This turbulent intensity get affected with the help of the shape of artificial roughness. Because if we talk about in case of the circular rib, the top surface, the air which flowing through the solar radiator, faces the faces the sharp edge of circular portion over the absorber plate, over the circular rib. But in case of a forward facing rectangular rib, the air which flowing over the roughness get deflected towards the center, and because of that the local intensity after the rib get increased, and that's why the higher turbulent intensity found in case of forward facing rectangular rib. Similarly, in second figure, if we talk about the local heat transfer coefficient, because the turbulent intensity found maximum for the artificial FCRR. Similarly, the heat transfer coefficient is also found maximum for the FCRR, because these two parameters are correlated with each other or interlinked with each other. For better understanding, we have plot I have plotted the streamline plots and the right top figure. So here you can see that these lines are represents basically the streamline plots. So in streamline point plots, you can see that there is a formation of secondary flow or eddies near the rib, near the artificial roughness. So in case of rectangular rib, we have three different zones where the secondary flow occurs, and these locations are at the front of rib or artificial roughness, at the top of artificial roughness, and at the back of artificial roughness. And here there is another uh, phenomena which takes place, which is uh, flow reattachment. With the change of relative roughness pitch is the distance between the two successive ribs. With the change of this relative roughness pitch, the distance between the two successive ribs get affected. And accordingly, if this distance get affected, then the reattachment and attachment zone appear between the two successive ribs. And for better heat transfer, it is suggested to have a single reattachment point within the two successive ribs. And if there is a single point, this means that the flow reattached to the absorber plate, and simultaneously as it attached to the absorber plate, simultaneously it get reattached from the absorber plate. So because of that only, it is in case of solar aerator, it is suggested to have relative roughness pitch of 8 to have a higher thermohydraulic performance parameter. So thermohydraulic performance parameter is nothing but the ratio of Nusselt number enhancement to the increase in frictional penalty, because we are using the artificial roughness over the absorber plate. So these artificial roughness increases the pressure drop. So we are interested to increase the heat transfer, but in simultaneously there is an increase of pressure drop as well. So based on the Nusselt number value on the solely based on the heat transfer value, we cannot comment on the performance of solar aerator. So for discussing or for commenting on the performance of solar aerator, we have to calculate both Nusselt number as well as the pressure drop. Because pressure drop, with the help of pressure drop, we can calculate the value of pumping power, which is required to maintain the flow through the solar aerator. So that's why the thermohydraulic performance parameter is an important parameter, which is basically the ratio of Nusselt number enhancement to the increase in frictional penalty. And if so finally we calculate the value of thermohydraulic performance parameter. And in last figure, we can see that the maximum value of thermohydraulic performance parameter is observed for the FCRR, forward facing rectangular rib. And the minimum value of thermohydraulic performance parameter observed for the circular rib. So for having a better solar air heater, it is suggested to have the forward facing rectangular ribs over the circular ribs. And nowadays there's a lot of work is carried out by different researchers, not only using the different shapes of artificial roughnesses, but they are using the different patterns of artificial roughnesses. And these patterns may be circular, arc shape, V shape, W shape. So now similar work is also been carried out for using the experimental facility available at the college. So based on that, here it is the experimental setup, and you can see that the extra text section before the extra length is before the text section, and similarly extra length after the text section. There is a suction type of blower, and this suction type of blower sucks the air from the inlet of the duct towards the outlet section of the ducts. There is a plenum, and this plenum is basically used to have to uh, to achieve the flow stagnation at the outlet of the duct. And here is an important component, which is a flexible pipe. And the main function of this flexible pipe is to not transfer the vibrations which are produced by a blower to the to the duct, solar heater duct. And over it, next slide, please. So this is a validation. Uh, Previous slide, sir, please, for 1 minute. Yeah. So this is the experimental setup. And in this experimental setup, you can see that there are different components at blower, suction type of blower at the end, and it is connected with the solarator duct and extra length before the text section and extra length after the text section, plenum, and the pressure drop across this text section is measured with the help of micromanometer. Sorry, micromanometer. And there are different thermocouples which are which are attached to the absorber plate for measuring the temperature value. Next slide, sir, please. Now here is the schematic view of artificial roughness. This is a dimple shape of artificial roughness, dimple cavity, and air is allowed to flow over these dimples. And the results which calculated using this experimental setup is validated with the Dilter-Boelter's equation. And Dilter-Boelter's equation is nothing but and it can be expressed as the Nusselt number is equal to 0.023 multiplied by Reynolds number is to power 0.8, or Prandtl number is to power 0.4. Next slide, sir, please. And here in the next table, So these are the results. And in this situation, different results were calculated. And in these results, we can see that the Nusselt number enhancement and increase in fractional penalty is calculated for the various relative roughness pitch values and various relative roughness height values. So here it is observed that the Nusselt number, at lower Nusselt number, the heat transfer enhancement is higher in comparison to the higher Reynolds number values in case of dimple shape roughness. And the maximum value is lie at the Reynolds number value of 2.1 multiplied by 10 to the power 3. And similarly, in case of different relative roughness pitch values, the maximum Nusselt number value is observed at relative roughness pitch value of 11. So here we have two, as I already mentioned, this experimental results represents for the dimple shape roughness. And in dimple shape roughness, we have different dimples which varies along the flow direction. And it also, the distance between these dimples also varied along the transverse direction. So that's why we have two values of relative roughness pitch. One is varies along the flow and the other one varies along the transverse direction. So that's why in both the cases, the maximum heat transfer enhancement takes place for the relative roughness pitch value of 11. And similarly, with the increase of relative roughness height, the Nusselt number enhancement increases. And it is noticed that the maximum Nusselt number enhancement takes place for the relative roughness height of 0.039. Please, next slide. So these are the correlations. Actually, after getting the experimental results, all the data is collected and summarized in the form of correlation. So based on that correlation is developed for the Nusselt number and friction factor. With the help of this correlation, the Nusselt number value can be calculated for the considered range of roughness as well as flow parameter. And here it can be seen that these correlations are accurate up to 95%. We can say that the value which is predicted using these correlation having the error of maximum 6.61 for the Nusselt number and 7.83 minus 7.83 for the frictional factor. Next slide, sir, please. So now we will going to discuss about the conclusion that so first of all, solar energy is free. So definitely it can help for sustainable development. And ANSYS Fluent is one of the best software which can be used to analyze the flow dynamics of through the complex geometries. It is also be concluded from this presentation that the Nusselt number or the overall performance of the solar aerator having the forward chamfer rectangular rib has the maximum thermohydraulic performance parameter in comparison to other possible designs. And it is also been observed that that the per- that the performance of solar aerator having the forward chamfer rectangular rib is 2.68 times higher than the conventional design of solar aerator. The best augmentation in heat Nusselt number obtained is of the order of 5.33 at Reynolds number of 2100. Thank you. Your questions are welcome if you have any.
Yeah, thank you, sir, Rajnish sir. Actually, it was a very, you can say, informative session with respect to the thermodynamics and how energy can be saved and how experimental work can be done in the area of energy saving. And I hope that for some of the viewer it is very very helpful, whereas for some they may feel that it is a little bit out of way, because most of them may feel that it sustainable manufacturing. But if we see that energy play a very important role, and these kind of experimental work can help to save energy and can help to do experimental works. And being a mechanical engineer, we should that the FDP is organized by the mechanical department, so thermodynamics, heat transfer, they are very important topic, and we need to cover this area as well. So therefore, if you have any query, you can ask me, and if you want to WhatsApp, you can WhatsApp me after the session also. So you can raise your hand and you can ask question from our expert right now. So I think no question, Rajnish sir. There is no question, and thank you everyone for being patient. There were so many, we can say, ups and down during the entire lecture because of the network issue, and maybe there is issue with my system also, and I shifted from one place to other place as well. But still, the lecture went through lots of waves, so it happens, no problem. Okay, someone is asking, please unmute me. Okay, okay, let me unmute, let me make them unmute themselves. Allow participant to unmute. Now you can unmute yourself, dear sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Sir, Rajni sir, thank you for the informative talk. Sir, I have one
Please.
small question regarding the
Yeah.
performance of the solar air heater, as you just mentioned. What is the
Okay, sir.
maximum expected efficiency of the solar air heater when we are using the artificial roughness? How does it compare with when we do not have the artificial roughness?
Sir, actually, that's why instead of saying the efficiency, we always measure the performance in terms of thermohydraulic performance parameter.
Okay,
So,
sir.
and for the conventional solar aerator, it is the value of thermohydraulic performance parameter is equal to 1.
Okay.
So for the proposed design, it should have the thermohydraulic performance parameter greater than 1. Then only we can say that the design which you are proposing having
Yes.
the performance higher than the conventional solar aerator.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
And sir,
And with the
what is
yes,
the difference between ribs and artificial roughness that you refer in case of the solar air heater?
sir.
Normally,
Sometimes ribs and artificial roughness is both the same things
yeah. So
because
now we have to
we yeah.
refer to one more parameter in heat transfer analysis. We call them as
Mm,
fins, extended
okay.
circuit for fins.
Yeah.
How
Yes.
these fins would differ from artificial roughness?
Yes, sir. Sir, here while we talk about the fin is basically used to increase the heat transfer area.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
But while we talk about the artificial roughness, the
Yes.
heat transfer area not increased that much
Okay.
as it increased in case of fins.
Fins. Yes.
Yeah. We can say that the heat transfer area is comparatively very low, which
Okay.
increased with the help of artificial roughness.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So because of that,
Fins are slightly larger in size, whereas the artificial roughness parameters are smaller in size. They
yeah,
do
you
not.
can say that. You can say that. You can say
Okay.
that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Sir.
And the main purpose of this artificial roughness is not to increase the heat transfer area. The
Okay.
main
Sir.
purpose
Yeah.
of these artificial roughnesses is to increase the local turbulence within the flow passes.
Okay. Sir. Okay.
This is
Yeah.
one of the basic difference between the artificial roughness and fin.
Okay.
So
We
I
again
guess,
want to achieve a higher heat transfer coefficient.
yeah, definitely, sir.
Okay.
For
Okay.
the
Thank you.
achieving the
Sir.
high.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Your talk was quite
Welcome.
informative.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, very informative session, sir. There is an announcement for our audience. For tomorrow morning lecture, I have been in contact with Dr. Sudhir Rana. He is associate professor in the University Gulf Medical University, Abu Dhabi, Ajmer, near Dubai. So actually, he is editor of many journals, and he has already, you can say, published many paper, as well as he edited many series from different journals. So, and I asked him to discuss about economics of role of economics in sustainable developments. So he will put some light on that issue. But apart from that, I think that our audience will have chance to ask about what actually editor look after a paper, what kind of we can say, what exactly they are looking for when they accept it or when they are rejecting it, or of any other doubt if you have regarding publication. Because I think from editorial point of view, the scene is different, the scenario is different. So it would be a great chance for all of us. So tomorrow morning he will be joined on time, and I will post the message also. So please join. Tomorrow morning will be our last session. After that, the validatory is there. So I hope that everyone will join, and we will take some photo also. So if any doubt, you can ask, please.
Thank you, sir.